Wow. Good afternoon, fellow Africans and friends. This is David Ayo Akirile, and I'm a pastor of a growing church, and I'm also an African man, like you can see from my color. And so this is day 3 of the value system makeover. This is an initiative that I was motivated to launch as my own contribution to the emancipation and development of Africa. Now, originally, I'm from Nigeria, and so I believe I've got many other friends from other African countries who would see some of my posts. Maybe you're from Ghana or Cameroon or wherever. It's going to be very great, and this afternoon, it's 1 p.m. here now, and I believe it's I'm seeing Bami Adile, one of my friends that just joined me now from the States. It's been a long time. I hope you're doing fine, you and your family. God bless you richly. Today's session is going to be very, 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 very powerful. And I'm trying as much as possible not to make this entirely spiritual, entirely religious. So it's going to be 80% secular and then 20% spiritual, because I want to appeal to everyone to see the need for us to examine ourselves as we go into 2018. The first day of this value systems makeover, we looked into gratitude and thanksgiving. Yesterday was very powerful. We looked into going to places on time, not going late to places. Our advice and encourage you that you go on my timeline and watch the 2 past episodes. So I'm looking for 10,000 Africans, myself and 9,999 Africans who will make a commitment for change. Africa is not supposed to be regarded as a black continent, the dark continent. There are many great people in Africa. There are many godly, God-fearing people in Africa. And many of us are scattered across the globe. There are many people listening to me now in the US, in Europe, another part of the world, and they are Africans like myself. So I'm an African too. And I don't live in Africa at the moment, but I have my stakes are high in Africa. Apart from my family members, a lot of my friends, a lot of my so-called disciples are in Africa, and I've got business in Africa. My parents, my family, they're all in Africa. So I wish Africa well. My original father's land is Nigeria, but I am completely detribalized. I associate and relate with everyone across the cultural divide, all across Africa. And so a very, very important value system, negative value system that we as Africans have to drop on our way into 2018 is selfishness and egocentrism. I believe all my listeners this afternoon will agree with me that one of the problems facing us in Africa has to do with the preponderance of selfishness and selfish people and selfish leaders. I mean, if you call a small boy of 7-8 year old who is an African, at least who can read and write, and ask him to tell you the problem of an African man, we tell you, oh, very selfish people. We've got a lot of more selfish people. That's my personal opinion. I may be wrong. I stand to be corrected. But I believe Africa has got much more people that are selfish than other parts of the world. There are great people in Africa, don't get me wrong. There are lovely, wonderful people who are doing fantastic things across the globe. But we've got plenty of selfish people. And so we want to dig into this value system today. And I want to encourage you to please kindly help me share this link. Selfishness is a killer. It is a virus in the system of any human being or any society. Selfishness is a killer. Selfishness is a killer. It is not a friend you must have. You don't want to go into 2018 with selfishness in your system. how fast is your computer system going to be if you've got a virus in that system? I mean, I've got a computer system that I use, and I have an antivirus installed on it. I renew the antivirus, this subscription every year. And even at that, I have had a lot of issues with my system. And my computer engineer told me that no matter how strong your antivirus is, there are still certain category of malwares, of viruses that can break the security systems of a computer. I'm not a computer person per se, but I've got a lot of computer people around me. And so when viruses enter into a computer system, it damages your files, destroys your hard disk. Sometimes you can't even log on. I mean, I've had cases in my computer that I had to take the computer to the manufacturer, and they had to do a complete reformatting of my computer. They reformatted it because of a virus. That is exactly the same way selfishness works. Selfishness is a virus in the system of any man. Be it a marriage, be it a business, be it a country, political structures, church, whatever system, any system. Think of any system in Africa. Where you find selfishness, you find trouble. You find so many vices. And I'm going to go into this afternoon. I want to encourage you to personalize this seminar. No one is paying me for this thing, and I've got a lot of other things to do that would have occupied my time, but I am just giving my own little commitment, contribution to my African friends. Enough of the barrage and deluge of insults that have been hurled at us from our friends in the West, that Africans are selfish people. All the problems that all African countries are facing today, they are all traceable to selfishness. Selfish leaders, selfish politicians, selfish governors, selfish presidents, selfish pastors, selfish businessmen, selfish husbands. Anywhere you find problem. Because at the root of selfishness is the question of love. It is the fundamental. At the root, people who are selfish, they don't have one iota of love in their hearts. 99% love plus 1% selfishness is 100% selfishness. Because selfishness is ego driven. It is about me alone, my children alone, my business alone, my career alone, my church alone. It is not about others. So that's why you will see a leader, a governor, a political leader in any African country, be it Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Ethiopia, South Africa, amassing the wealth of 1 million people, 2 million people, 3 million people to himself alone. And look at the spirit behind such habits. It is selfishness. Now, when you love people, you don't want to oppress them. When you love people, you don't want to deprive them of anything that will make them to enjoy their entitlement and their rights. Love and selfishness cannot coexist. They cannot coexist. Now, love and selfishness, they are two mutually exclusive events. Now, we use the word mutually exclusive in statistics. Now, when you throw a dice up, a dice has 6 sides, 6 faces, and different numbers are written on each side of the dice. You can never have 2 sides appearing at the same time. One side must appear at the same time. Now, if you throw a coin up, you can never have 2 faces of the coin appearing at the same time. That is why when 2 football clubs are playing and they want to decide who is going to start the match first, they throw the dice up and do like this. And you can't have 2 sides. It's either the right side or the left side of the dice, of the coin. The same thing occurs within the context of selfishness and love. The two of them cannot coexist. Show me a society filled with selfish people. That society will be full of corruption. Corruption at all levels. Show me a church pastored by a selfish leader. The church will be full of corruption. Show me a business run by a selfish MD or selfish general manager or selfish CEO. Everybody in that business will be groaning. It is about profits for himself alone and not about others. Selfishness is the #1 killer of marriage. It has been proven time and again. A research was done in the US some years back, and they took a sample of people. I mean, they used a very large demographics. I mean, they didn't just focus on people living in New York or Texas, and they asked them to comment on the number one reasons why marriages break in the US. Guess what the response was? Majority of the respondents to that survey said selfishness. And so they did a scientific research around that theory and found that selfishness is the number one killer of marriage. Every marriage has challenges. There will be problems, there will be issues, but the moment one party perceives the other party as being selfish, self-centered, ego-driven, and doing his own thing for his own sake alone, problem enters the marriage. Problem enters the marriage. And so the marriage of business people with their owners, the marriage of the president of a nation with the citizens, the marriage of the church leader with the members. There are different types of marriages. Anytime, anywhere you find selfishness in any system, it kills the system. Now, I want you to run through 2017. Do you think you are actually selfless? Do you think you are selfless in 2017? There is nothing wrong in caring for yourself. There is nothing wrong in taking care of your family. There is nothing wrong in pursuing your career doggedly. You must be very efficient. I talk about excellence. I talk about efficiency. I talk about all of those stuffs. You must be dogged. You must be serious with your career. You must take it seriously. But if you are honest today with me and with your conscience, do you think you are actually selfless in 2017 or selfish? Do you think you are selfless or selfish in 2017? Now, if you don't do something about this thing, this value system is a negative value system. If you don't do something about it, you are going to transfer and transport it into 2018. Selfishness has nothing good to offer anyone. Selfishness has nothing good to offer anyone. Now, I want to tell you some of the problems associated with selfishness and why it is important for every African man, African woman listening to me to make a conscious decision to become selfless. You can do it. You can do it. You've got to take personal responsibility and decide that you will now begin to be selfless. The same spirit, the same drive that makes people to become selfish can be switched and turned around and directed and redirected towards becoming selfless. There is nobody on earth that doesn't have a need. All the rich people you think don't have need, they have needs. It is only because their kind of needs are not our own kind of needs. You think Bill Gates doesn't have problems, doesn't have needs. Oh my goodness. The richest people on earth are those that have the greatest needs. Nobody wants to be a billionaire today and crash tomorrow. So becoming rich is not as difficult as sustaining riches. Go and ask anybody that has become a senior officer in an organization. It is always a battle to sustain that position. Every other person around you wants to snatch that thing from you. Every year they do a kind of a ranking, the richest people in the world. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg, all of them are competing to maintain that position. Few months ago, somebody displaced Bill Gates for like a week or two. About a month after, Bill Gates displaced him again. If Bill Gates relaxes and decides to do something negative to his customers, and Microsoft begins to manufacture hardware or let me say software with viruses and whatever, they are in trouble. The brand name will collapse, brand recognition will collapse, brand value will collapse, and all the other great blue chips multinationals in Silicon Valley, they take over from Microsoft. And before you know what's happening, Warren Buffett becomes the richest in the world. So everybody has problem. Bill Gates' problem is not my own problem now. Bill Gates doesn't have issue with $1 million. Me, I need $1 million now to do more books, to print more books, to help more people, to do more evangelism, to feed the poor. Bill Gates can give $500 million to people now without thinking twice about it. But there are certain things that are Bill Gates' headache now and problem. How to ensure the business doesn't collapse. How to retain its number one position. How to make sure nobody steals his idea. the IP, the intellectual property rights of Microsoft, must not be lost to any company. And there are so many predators that are chasing Bill Gates. They want to steal the IP rights of his software and duplicate and do something similar to it, so as to gain the market share of software manufacturers across the globe. Everybody has an issue. So if you are driven by, it is my own life, it's my career, I must solve my problem, you will not help anybody until you die. There will always be problem. There will always be need. There will always be issues to attend to. Sometimes the problems will not even be about you, may be about your children, about your cousin, about your friend, and nobody else can solve that problem but you. I have been in that condition several times. I carry other people's problem on my head. It's not my problem. But if something happens to this my friend, I so much love this my friend. So if my friend is hungry, I will not be at peace. So I have to divide my food to two and give it to my friend. I've had so many experiences like that in the past. So people that are selfless, it is not that they don't have problems. They just choose to be selfless. So it is a choice you have to make intentionally. You have to make it intentional. You decide to be selfless. You decide to be selfless. You choose to do. You can do it. You don't have to be a Christian. There is an inner power in the heart of every man made by God. Whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim, if you hear that a bomb is planted in your bedroom now, do you need to be a Christian to know what to do next? Hey, everybody goes to the door and they tell you the bomb is going to explode in the next 3 minutes. Do you begin to check the scriptures? Let me find a verse of the Bible to read. Whether you are a traditional worshiper, you are a Buddhist, the next instinct that comes in your mind is to jump out of the room. So these are natural instincts implanted in every man by God. You don't have to be a Christian at all to be selfless. There are so many great leaders in any Asian countries who are worshiping Satan. They don't know Christ. They're not believers, Christians or Muslims. And they are doing fantastic jobs in their country. Most of these people in Japan, in China, they worship idols. They worship idols and they are organized to a fault. Organized and disciplined to a fault. Where did they get those values from? There is an inbuilt mechanism in every man, implanted in us by God, because we came from God. Every man came from God. We were all made in the image of God. Even though those who are not Christians, their spirit man is dead. If they die, they go to hell. They don't go to heaven. But on earth, they can deploy the power that God has planted in them, because they are human beings, and do phenomenal things. So I'm trying to emphasize this, because someone will tell me, oh, it's difficult for me to be selfless. It's not difficult. You can choose to be selfish or choose to be selfless. You can choose to be selfish or choose to be selfless. Let me tell you some of the problems that selfishness does to people. Number one, people who are selfish, they don't care about relationships. They don't care about relationships. Their parents don't matter. Their friends don't matter. Their colleagues at work don't matter. It is about them alone. And then you rise and fall by relationships. And I tell people all the time, you can never be greater than the quality of your relationship. If the people you are closest to are people who are stealing money and using the money to buy jewelries and expensive wristwatches, it is a matter of time. You will start to do the same thing. Because naturally, everybody is influenced by his closest relationship. If your best friends are people that are visionary, if you spend 3 days with Mark Zuckerberg in his house, your life will be transformed. The guy's capacity to think outside the box will influence you so much that you will be looking for businesses to do. What has happened? Something has happened to your mind. Something has happened to your mind. The same thing when you read books and you are having relationships with people through their books. You found the book of a very, very, very successful man and you are reading his books. The spirit behind that man's work in his writings will jump into you. You start thinking like him. You start thinking like him. Now, someone has said, the mind of a man, once it is expanded, does not return to its original position. Dr. Ben Carson. You know Ben Carson? That was a man that did the first surgery that separated co-joined twins. The mind of a man, once it is expanded, does not return to its original position. So when you are reading books and you are having relationships with people that are in those books, who wrote those books, you are expanding your mind. And once your mind is expanded, it cannot contract. Somebody else has said that when you read and you are having relationship with people in their books, you are actually having intercourse with superior minds. Something must be born. So I am trying to paint a scenario. Selfish people care less about relationships. It is about them. They can destroy and ruin every relationship to sustain their empire. They don't care about how people feel. So when you see anybody around you who doesn't care, whose language is I don't care, wrong from that person. He's not your best friend. I don't care is not a language of selfless people, selfless leaders. I don't care. When a wife tells her husband, I don't care, the marriage is at the brink of collapse. When a husband tells his wife, I don't care, the marriage is at the brink of collapse. When the MD of a company tells his employees, they want a salary increase, they want a wage increase, and they say, I don't care. You better find another job. Because that man is going to use you to make more profit for himself. And when the time is up, if you get a better person than you that can give him more money, he chases you out. So selfishness and good relationships, they don't coexist. When people are selfish, the first thing that begins to die around them is good relationship. You don't want to be friends to a selfish man. It hurts. I've been in relationship with selfish people in the past, and I poured my heart to them, sacrificed. If you have ever been hurt, I have been hurt. And people come around you, I call them users. In one of my books that I'll be coming next year, I did an extensive study on that. People whose primary agenda and allegiance is to use people. I call them use and dump. Use and dump. They are the nicest on earth. But what is driving them is egocentrism and selfishness. It is because of what they want to get from you. Particularly women. Women are special creatures by God. And because of the sensitive nature of a woman, they are caring, they are loving. Men prey on that. So when a woman sees a man telling her sweet words, you are the best in the world, naturally, that is the way God made it. Naturally, that is the way God made it. Because God told Adam that God told Eve that her desire shall be to her husband. Her desire shall be to her husband. It means that when a man has the capacity, I don't know how God did it. No matter, I was talking to a man many years back. This is very funny. And he was telling me, he said, there is no woman that a man cannot marry if he gives him time, gives her time. I said, wow, what do you mean? He said, every woman has a price. He said, if you pay that price, the man was not, this man, I mean, was a pastor. It wasn't like speaking, using the moral concept. He said, when you pay the price, either the price of time, or the price of humility, or sacrifice, if you have, there's a book I will recommend to you. It is called the 5 Love Languages. 5 love languages. Every man has a love language. So when you begin to speak a language and you are consistent, and you stay and you don't give up, when you get to a breaking point, the woman will give it to the man. We've had cases of many women who, how did I even marry you? No, it is a power that God has implanted into men. You will see some women and some men, how did this woman marry this man? This woman is very beautiful, this man is very ugly. But the man applied that force. Your desire shall be to your husband. So the desire of a woman shall be to the man. A man has the capacity to apply pressure on a woman. Put pressure. I want you to put pressure on in an environment of love. No matter how hard the woman is. Apart from some groups of people that they are in no-go area. No matter how hard, she will give it to the man and get married to the man. So what am I saying here? Relationships and selfishness are mutually exclusive events. Good relationships. Be careful of use and dump. As you go into 2018, if you are a selfish person and you are keen about using people and dumping them, you need to have a rethink. Life is a product of sowing and reaping. It is what you sow you're going to reap. If you have made a career out of using people and dumping them, you use them and dump them like tissue paper and dump them. Somebody's going to come around to use you too and dump you. And when people will use you, the scale and scope that you are going to experience will be worse than what you have done for other people. When somebody will use you too, the way that person will use you, it will be worse. Because the laws of sowing and reaping are very effective. When you sow a corn of maize, you don't reap a corn, you reap a bountiful harvest. And that law applies from generation to generation. So selfishness, you must kill it in 2017. It is a king that must die in your life. You cannot go into 2018 with selfishness. Selfish people promise, they don't deliver. Selfish people promise, particularly selfish leaders. We have plenty of them in Africa. Their mouths are very sweet. When they are doing their political campaign, they roll out the drums. They paste posters. They promise heaven and earth, but they don't deliver. Anybody that has promised you things at least 3 times and hasn't delivered any of them is a selfish person. If you have the capacity and grace to help him to go to transit to selflessness, you can do it. But if you don't have the capacity, you better find another friend. Selfish people promise, they don't deliver. Selfish people don't share. It's about them and them. You see, this morning, I preach in church. I'm a pastor, so I preach in church, and I was talking to them about this. There is nothing sinful about having money and being rich. Now, the problem about money is that it is not about having money that God is concerned and disturbed and worried about. It is about money not having you. Now, there are 2 different things. There are rich people in the scriptures in the Bible. Abraham was very rich. Job was very rich. But can you compare the wealth of Abraham and the life of Abraham with the life of Solomon? Abraham had money. Money didn't have him. Solomon had money. Money had Solomon. And he started marrying all kinds of women. So, selfishness, at the root of selfishness, is a desire to continue to have. And I'm not giving out. To have. I was talking to someone a few days back who is a political stakeholder in a big political party in Africa, in an African country, and I asked him, I mentioned a particular individual. This man has dozens of houses, and the man is getting old. I said, what is this man doing with these houses? This man is going to die, and they will share the properties behind him. So I lived in Europe for many years. So anytime I'm walking across the streets, and you pass in front of the houses of white people, you find only 2 cars there. They don't put fences around their houses. Sometimes right on the road, I'll be looking at their TV. I will see the husband and the wife seated and watching TV. And the man is the CEO of an oil company. And the man is managing billions of dollars of projects. But he has 2 cars. The wife has one. The husband has one. That is a value system. Now, the preponderance of corruption that we have in Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana, and in wherever, in Cameroon, the root of that thing is selfishness. The desire to collect more. I hate that spirit. It is, if you are a Christian, it is anti-scripture. It is anti-scripture. Jesus said, I'm making this seminar 80% secular, 20% spiritual. Now I'm going spiritual now. Jesus said something. He said, do not lay up treasures for yourself on earth. Now let's do an anatomy of that scripture. Do not lay up treasure for yourself on earth. Now that scripture didn't say do not have treasure. He said do not lay. So the key word is lay up. Now to lay up means you are building up. You are building up. You are building up. It is anti-scripture. It is anti-gospel. So anybody you see laying up, now anybody you see doing something Jesus said do not do, is an antichrist. There is no other way to define anybody, any pastor, anybody. So you have to line up your life with God's word, not with sentiments, regardless of who that person is. Jesus didn't say do not have treasure, but do not lay it up. Now what that means in layman's language is this: you must be a channel and not a reservoir. Wow! That is at the root of selfless leadership. Being a channel and not a reservoir. More than 90%, if not more, of African leaders are reservoirs. They have reservoirs in their houses where they stock money. They stock things. They have reservoirs in Switzerland where they keep money. They steal money and keep the money there. They have reservoirs of houses in Dubai, in New York, in Toronto, in Frankfurt, in Dallas. Reservoirs. Well, all the great leaders that have made a name for themselves across the globe Go and look at their lives. They were channels. They were channels. Two worlds apart. Being a channel and being a reservoir. Selfishness is having a reservoir spirit, a reservoir mindset. The more I have, the better I am. That is the curse that is working against many selfish African leaders. The concept that tells you that the more you have, the better your value is, it is egocentrism. It offers no benefit to any society. It kills society. It ruins marriage. It destroys relationship. The more I have, the better I am. It is unchristian. It is anti-gospel if you are a Christian. Even within societies that they don't celebrate Christianity, they don't celebrate volume at the expense of value. There is a difference between volume and value. So if I'm volume driven, the more I have, the better I am driven. You will run to trouble because you will look for every way and every means to circumvent processes to steal. So we can make a connection between selfishness and corruption. Anywhere you see corruption, selfishness is a natural companion of people living in that environment. And so many of you can relate what I'm saying. Selfish people don't share. They are reservoirs and are not channels. 2018 is a completely different year. If you don't make up your mind this year, then we'll begin to share. Do an inventory of your life. You've got 10 cars. You've got 20 houses. And I can't, by the time I look at my wardrobe and I'm seeing certain numbers of shirts there, I'm thinking of who to give it to. Number one, the problem of dry cleaning clothes is a big burden for me. And some of those clothes sometimes are of different colors. You don't want to wash white with blue, with red. And I'm a man, I like multicolor. Courtesy of my wife. I like multicolor, blue, white, red, whatever. So you don't want to wash that kind of clothes with. So what I have, by the time I'm having certain numbers of shirts, I'll be looking for who to give them to. Who doesn't have a shirt? Who doesn't have a shoe? At my own level, I can't stand being around people who are coming around me and they are wearing dirty clothes and I'm having clothes. I must give it to them. I have been doing that for more than 20 years. That is my lifestyle. Nobody is forcing me to do it. Nobody is manipulating me to do it. I cannot stand people that are poor around me except if I don't have the means to do it. I cannot have 20 things and you have 0 and I'm looking at you and praying for you. I cannot do it. So, and I'm still improving, just like you are improving too. We are all in the same boat. But my role this afternoon is to stimulate your consciousness and tell you, no society grows in an environment of selfish and egocentric leaders. It is what we call downward investment. Downward investment. Everything that is invested in that society does not yield any return. Because the more money you make in that country, the more opportunities for stealing those money by the corrupt and selfish people. So, having a selfish leader at the ends of affair, of a church, of a nation, has nothing to offer the members of that church or nation or business. The more money you make, the bigger the empire of that leader. It continues to amass. It doesn't share. It doesn't share. And it's a shame on many African leaders that majority of the charity projects going on in Africa are done by white people. It's a shame. Do you think Africans don't have $1 billion? Now it takes Bill Gates to send $1 billion to Sudan, to Nigeria, to cure meningitis. You think Nigeria doesn't have $1 billion? But they know that if they wait for the leaders in those countries to do something about meningitis will kill everybody in that country. Because many of those countries are being led by selfish leaders. If we can solve the problem of selfishness, Africa will skyrocket into prominence. Africa will skyrocket into prominence. If we can get it right and look for selfless leaders, people who can drive only one car all the year, people who are willing to fly economy and allow everybody that is sick in the hospital to be flown on business class, people who are willing to depress themselves for a moment for other people to be elevated, people who are willing for others to climb on them to get to the top and they don't feel anything about it. Until we get such leaders, Africa will continue to lag behind. Our prayers and fasting notwithstanding. Selfish people are cowards. They lack the courage to face and rectify the consequences of their actions. Anytime you approach anybody and you are confronting him that they are being selfish with proven evidences. We made $1 billion and you've stolen all the amount of money we made. You are paying people $5,000 per month, but you are paying yourself $1 million per month, and you are showing evidences to that person, and the person is not agreeing with you. That is a sign of cowardice. One of the key traits of selfish leaders. Selfish people don't ask for forgiveness. They don't forgive and they don't ask for forgiveness. It is about them alone. They are always right. They are always right. Anybody who is always right, who is always faultless, who is always guiltless, is a selfish person. If a woman marries such man, the woman is in trouble. If a man marries such woman, the man is in trouble. One of my friends asked me a question one day, and he said that he wants to marry somebody, and the person is asking him, setting a target of money for him. This is the amount of money I want you to be making. I said, Ron, you haven't found a wife. Hey, those that are listening to me that are married, you and I know that when the battles and challenges of marriage comes, it is only the tough that stand. It is only the strong that last. When this crisis comes, it can just come through enemies. Sometimes everything seems rosy. Somebody just bring trouble into the marriage. Maybe an old friend, maybe somebody, a simple text message, a WhatsApp message, a WhatsApp call. Anything can just happen that you didn't plan for, and crisis in the marriage. So if you are married to a man that is self-centered and greedy and is about himself alone, you are in trouble as a woman. And I have counseled people who have been in that condition. I won't tell them to go and divorce their husband. I just tell them, just keep praying for him. Just keep praying for him. He can change. That is how pastors talk. It is only when I see that it is getting to the level of physical aggression and the life of the woman is in danger that I tell her, okay, you have to separate now. Now. Don't divorce him, but separate. And during the process of separation, then we determine what we're going to do. Selfish people don't give straightforward answers. They always go around the bush. They always go around the bush. You cannot look into their eyes and ask them questions. They always dodge answers because it is about them alone. And you find this kind of people even in the church. When you ask a pastor a simple question that is written in the scriptures in black and white, and he's dodging the answer and he's dribbling you, it is selfishness. It is ego driven. Every man at his best is vanity. Solomon said, vanity upon vanity. All is vanity. Every man at his best is vanity. In fact, Solomon said, every man is a vapor. You know a vapor? Ordinary hair. All the, I am the richest in the world. All the, I have 500 houses in Dubai. All of them, they are only relevant when there is hair and oxygen in your nostrils. I saw the corpse of a man. Oh my goodness. I saw the corpse of a man dressed in white suit. A musician in the US. And I saw people pouring encomiums on him. I saw a video clip of some things he has done in the past, and they put his corpse dressed in white suits. And I shook my head. I remember that scripture. Every man at his best is a vapor. Every man at his best is a vapor. The Bible says, men of high degree, they are vanity. Men of low degree, they are a vapor. Put in a balance altogether, they are vanity. When you have that mindset that at age 90 or age 100 or whatever, you're going to die and leave all the houses and leave them, you won't have any problem in answering yes or no. When you see something written in a book that you claim to follow, if you are claiming to follow the Quran, you don't come around and begin to choose the Quran. If you are following the scripture, you can see something black and white. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. And that same concept is taught in New Testament. You don't beat about the bush. Anytime you see people beating about the bush, they cannot give you straight, clear answer. Selfishness has entered into their hearts. Selfish people don't commit to anything. If you ask them to give you their words, they begin to dodge you. They dodge you. Are you going to be there tomorrow by 7 p.m.? I will think about it. He needs to go home and think about how that meeting is going to benefit him first before giving you that answer. People that are selfless, they are always committed. It is not about using and dumping people. They want you to even ride on them and get to the top. So today, me and my wife, we are speaking about a group of people that we met who did some things to us, and they used us to achieve some things. Bless God for using us for them. But the spirit behind those things they did, the spirit was bad. They just used us and dumped us. I believe you've had that experience before. A friend that is always coming around you to ask for money. Anytime he has problem, he's always coming. When there is no problem, he doesn't call you. When there is problem, he calls you. He's a selfish person. You better don't put your mind on that person. You don't have a friend. You better don't put your trust in selfish people. Anywhere you see selfishness, the smallest trait in a church, in a nation, in a business, you better don't put your trust in such people. On the day that matters most in your life, when you need somebody to lean on, they're going to disappoint you. They are going to disappoint you big time. Big time. You better don't put trust in any human being. God is your number one ultimate. He is the only one that cannot disappoint. And even if God disappoints, it is for a reason. The day he will reply you and repay you back, all the disappointment will be combined together and turn to appointments. Selfish people hoard information from people. I'm rounding up now. Hey, information. We are living in an information age. Information is the mother of invention. Information. One correct information can turn your life around forever. That you know that this grass, the same grass you are stepping upon in your house, in front of your house, that grass, they're looking for that grass in a city in China, and they will pay you $1 million for one small portion of grass. If you hear that kind of information and you verify it and it's correct, what will you do? You'll be looking for the address of the people so you can take that grass to them. There are so many inventions, so many products and services that people need, that the information about these things are hidden from many people. The few people that know about it, the stock market, the Bitcoin industry, the oil and gas industry, real estate. If somebody tells you that a particular land in front of your house that costs $1,000, there is oil in that ground. If somebody tells you as a secret, what will you do? You will buy the land. But you'll be matching on the same land because you don't know anything about that land. That is how powerful information is. If you want to make progress in life, you want to be a great leader, you want to be a great leader, a great inventor, you want to be a man or a woman that people will celebrate, you must never hoard information from people. At the root of hoarding of information is selfishness. Selfish people want to make all the profits. They want every other person to fail. You know, I was talking to someone and I said, one thing I have observed in Africans is this. An African man will see a particular opportunity. He will take the opportunity. He will use it, benefit from it. Now, he has used it. He has gained from it. Why not release it to others? No, they won't do it. Now, what an African man wants to do is that he wants everybody to be subservient to him. Now, when I'm saying African men, not every African man. There are wonderful African men. Listen to me now. And all over Africa. I'm talking about a group of selfish people in Africa. And some of us, all of us, including myself, we still have some traces of selfishness. So even the little traces we have, we must clean them up. Don't hoard information. Heaven is too wide for two birds to collide. That somebody is succeeding because of your information doesn't in any way obliterate your own success. Blowing somebody else's candle doesn't increase the intensity of the fire of your own candle. So why hoarding information? Selfless leaders share information. Selfless leaders share information. I'm not saying you should be sharing the secret of people. Information that will benefit people. Information of a new product. Go and buy that stock. The price is $5 now. Next year, in 3 months' time, it will be $500. Somebody told me, I have bought my home. Go and buy it. And that person buys it and becomes rich. It doesn't have to remember you again. You have done your own part. Heaven will record it that it was on your account that somebody else became prosperous. Even if men don't reward you, God will reward you. Selfishness hides information. Selfish people hide information. Selfish leaders, selfish pastors. It is a gross act of selfishness for a pastor of a church to hide truth from people, because when they hear that truth, it will impact on your own empire. That is what we are having now in Africa now. So many pastors, so many preachers, they know the truth of God's word, but if they preach it, their resources will drop, their empire will collapse, and so they are hoarding it. They are holding it. I cannot tell them that this thing is wrong. One day, one man called me. One man I respect so much. He's a pastor, and he said, "Your messages are too strong. You should be preaching very simple messages that will make people happy. Talk about success, about prosperity." He said, "You should be preaching like TD Jakes." And that was what he said to me. He said, "Talk about hope." And I said, He said, "Don't talk about all these things you're talking about, selfishness." He said, I said, "For this purpose I was born." When God called me, he said, "My people are in captivity. Go and set them free." Now, that doesn't mean that I'm a savior to set people free. I'm just a channel, because as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself too. Captivity in terms of knowledge, information. So, I must serve you what I call balanced diet. A doctor doesn't just give multivitamins to people. He gives injection too. There are cases where multivitamin will come. There are cases where you need injection. So I can preach anything, I can teach anything, I can teach finance, but it must be balanced. It must be balanced. If I keep filling with carbohydrates, you become a kwashiorkor patient. God forbid. And so we have a lot of kwashiorkor people, kwashiorkor Christians, kwashiorkor people all over the world, all over Africa, because they are feeding on what I told that man. I said, "Thank you. Thank you very much. I will think about it." I just laughed when he finished with me. Because I don't have allegiance to any man. My only allegiance is to God and then to truth. In rounding up, selfish people isolate themselves. You see, when you are very transparent, you are a good leader. Transparency is one of the hallmarks of good leadership. When you are secretive, you put people following you under pressure and they begin to suspect you. There is something you are hiding. A very good leader is approachable and transparent. People do not have to go on Google to search and they're not discovering things about you. You are transparent. You see, I worked in a corporate organization in Africa many years back, where the office of the manager is opaque. You have to knock the door, and then when it's ready, you come in. You cannot see the manager. Now, in the 21st century world now, and in many companies in Africa now, offices are now transparent. So when I'm walking around, I'm seeing the MD, I'm seeing the manager. So all the nonsense and rubbish that many African leaders do, where they will be doing all kind of rubbish in their office with women, you can't try it in this generation now, in most companies now. At least most blue chip companies. They're going to fire you. Because they want to instill the virtue and value of transparency, which is a catalyst for selfless leadership. The more transparent you are, the better leader you are. So when you begin to isolate yourself, you are telling people, "I don't need anybody." Number one. Number two, what I am doing, I don't want anybody to see what I'm doing. And people begin to suspect you. They begin to suspect you that you're hiding something. Selfish people don't give gratitude. They are the know-alls. They are too perfect. There is nothing anybody can do to them that warrant gratitude. "Oh, thank you." They don't do it. And we find this trait among so many African leaders. They are the ones that know it, other people don't know it. There is no man on earth that is a fountain of knowledge. Every man at his best is a variable. Only God is a constant. There are things I don't know at all, that I have to learn. In fact, I learn from my children. So when you get to a point you have known everything, then you have reached a point of no return in your grade of selfishness. Selfish leaders, they limit authority. Selfish people give very little authority to people. They want to be the one to take every decision because they are insecure. Selfishness breeds insecurity because you don't want your empire to collapse. You will make sure you are the only one that signs that check. Have you ever seen a company where only the MD signs the check? What will happen? Oh my God, bureaucracy. The bureaucracy in that system, every customer must wait for the MD to come. I worked with a bank many years back where the MD was the only one signing a particular amount of money. The day the MD traveled, come and see crowd in the bank. Everybody was shouting. What kind of a useless bank is this? I just smiled. Why? Selfish leader. The leader was selfish because she knew that by the time she opens up the account of the company to other people, they will see the secret that she has been stealing money. So she makes sure she's the only signatory to the account. Selfish people withhold authority. Selfless leaders, they delegate authority. Without them, the system will run. Anytime the system is about you alone, you are a selfish person. Anytime a system cannot run when you are not there, you have become a legendary selfish person. Anytime a system, whether it's a church system, an economic system, a football club system, political system, whatever system it is, if the system will not run without you being there, you are a selfish person. You cannot go far as a leader. People are just enduring you, they are not enjoying you. The day they find an alternative, they will kick you out of that place. So as we go into 2018, I want to encourage all my friends listening to me. We must stem the tide of selfishness. If the future, the present generation of leaders, if they have messed it up, then let us clean it up. Let us clean it up. Every new generation is an improvement on the previous. The children will always do more than the fathers. The children's children will always do more than the children. So the trajectory of leadership effectiveness, it wears out on the present generation and should improve on a new generation. So all the loopholes we have found in our church leaders, our political leaders, it is now your generation and my generation to clean it up. To clean it up. So if there is any strand of selfishness in your life, all through 2017, it is about me, about my work, about my children, about my family, and every other person is irrelevant. You've got to have a rethink. Selfishness has been proven as the number one killer of marriage. It is the number one, not adultery, not financial recklessness, not poverty. They did a survey in America and found that all the people that divorced, selfishness was the number one reason. When the husband sees the wife as selfish, it destroys all the love in the marriage. And when love collapses, everything has collapsed. When the woman discovers that the man is selfish, it's about me, my emotion, my money, my family, my business, and there is not one single thing the woman can point to, or the man can point to, this woman, because she's in my life, she has helped me to do this. The marriage is a time bomb waiting to explode. Scientific research. This is not like a figment of my brain now. Scientific research conducted in the US. Selfishness, the number one killer of my... I thought I was going to say adultery. In fact, the people that did the research, they thought the couples that divorced, they would mention infidelity or something, or violence. No. Even those that were beating themselves and were striking themselves and were fighting, it was selfishness that was at the root. It was because a party perceived the other party as being selfish that led into crisis in the marriage, and the marriage broke down irretrievably. And so I'm calling on my friends this afternoon, my African friends. We can raise a new generation of selfless leaders. You start from your house. Now, if you are a selfish leader in the house, you can't be a selfless leader in the public. Private success is the foundation of public success. Private failure is equivalent to public failure. There are some people listening to me, they are very successful in the public. You are a man, every man respects you. You treat every woman very well. You treat your friends very well, but you are killing your wife at home. Private success is forever and eternally superior to public success. What makes you, what shapes your character, is not how you perform in the public, but who you are in the private. It is who your wife knows you to be that you are. What every other person think you are is irrelevant. It is who your husband knows you to be that you are. It is who your children know you to be that you are. What the public know you to be is not who you are. That is just the icing on the cake, the decoration. The real you is who you are in the room with your children, with your wife. So, private success is good, but it must not be at the expense of public. Sorry, public success is good, but it mustn't be at the expense of private success. So we can change our generation. All the ills and problems you have found in our churches as Christians, we can change them. It can start in our homes. You start in your own home by being selfless. Being selfless. Being selfless. I'm bringing this seminar to a close. I want you to help me share this link. It's going to bless someone. Somebody out there who is struggling with leadership, struggling with responsibility, struggling with obedience, struggling with gratitude, struggling with holding information, or with any other vice, will learn something from this teaching. Help me share this on your timeline for other people to enjoy it. We cannot go into 2018 the same way we are in 2017. If you want a change in our life in 2018, selfishness must die with 2017. And I am putting myself together with 9,999 other Africans who will make a commitment. At least we could be more. Who will make a commitment that from today we become selfless. You become selfless. You try and push yourself a little bit to help people. Let life not be about yourself alone. It reminds me of the story of the ants and the elephants. The ants and the elephant crossed a bridge. And the elephant told the ants, stand on my shoulder and we will cross the bridge. So the ants climbed on the shoulder of the elephant. As they were walking on the bridge was vibrating and was shaking. When they crossed over to the other side, the ants jumped down from the shoulder of the elephant and beat his chest and spoke to the elephant. We shook the bridge. We shook the bridge. Who shook the bridge? That is the mindset of many people. Acknowledging somebody as better than you because he has a skill you don't have is not a statement of, it's not false humility. How many things do I know? I only know some little things. There are many people who know so much more than me. So, because I want to be selfless, I open up myself to other people to instruct me, to correct me, as the case may be. So it is my heart cry that as I conclude this series seminar, we've got 31 days. Oh my God, this is the third day. If you know the issues that I will be dealing with in the next 28 days, we're going to talk about telling lies. We're going to talk about abuse in marriages. It's a value system. We're going to talk about extramarital affair. It's a value system. There are many people who are not Christians who don't cheat on their spouses. So it's going to be a shame on a Christian that is born again in Christ to say that I cannot help it, when an unbeliever can stand on the platform of morals and not cheat on his spouse. And for those who have made that mistake, I'm not condemning you. God forgives all sins. I just want us to change. We're going to examine gossip, character assassination. We're going to examine so many things. We're going to examine the value system of being a leader. All the things I have learned from people and from my small knowledge and small work with God and little experience, I'm going to compress everything together. And I know it's going to benefit you tremendously. So tomorrow again, I'm going to come online 1 p.m. New York and Toronto time and 7 p.m. West African and UK time. You are going to be tremendously blessed. Stay blessed in Christ Jesus. And make a commitment that come 2018, you'll be a selfless leader. Thank you so much for listening to me this afternoon. I wish you a tremendous Sunday and a glorious time at work tomorrow as we all go to our places of work. God bless you all.